Hey, what's up guys, Alex here, back again. Actually for my second video of the day. You want to go and check out my video from earlier. I showed you guys the prize that I won from Gus's contest, Invader of Your Heart. He sent me some really cool stuff, some pretty cool records, so go and check that out if you haven't. But in this video right now I'm just going to show you some other finds that I've picked up in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, you know, it's getting better. I mean, I'm starting to buy a little bit more now. A quick note on what I was saying in my last video about the Uncle Acid record, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats' Bloodlust. I managed to order a copy. At 4 PM the orders started to go up for Bloodlust, and yeah, I managed to get my hands on a copy of that, so I'm super psyched for that. You know, right now I'm just, you know, so pleased that I managed to get, you know, a copy. I'm pretty sure they will have sold out by now. It's 7 o'clock here, so they've been up 3 hours. The site was pretty slow when I was trying to order. Well, very slow. It took me probably 20 minutes to finally actually get my order confirmed. So, you know, it's probably quickened up a bit now, and who knows, you know, it's only been 3 hours, there might still be some copies. I know they had like over 1,000 press, so definitely go and check out the Rise Above website for that. But super pleased that I'm, you know, got a copy of that coming in the post, and yeah, I wanted to show you guys these finds. Again, not tremendous amount of stuff. As I said, my buying started to pick up a little bit, but I'm still probably not at the level that I was at, you know, last year. This time last year I was probably buying quite a bit more than I am now, but I'm looking forward to the summer. You know, I've finished my exams now, and I'm, you know, working every week. So hopefully, you know, I'll be buying a lot more vinyl over the next couple of months, and I'll be sure to show it to you guys. But yeah, going to get into these finds now. Playing in the background, I just fancied playing a bit of Buddy Holly. Just really in the mood for this kind of thing today. A bit of rock and roll to round the day off. This is a Legend, which is just a nice double compilation album that I picked up for like 50p a while back. So that's what's playing. And I'll show you the CD I picked up first. Absolutely psyched to finally find a physical copy of this. I've been looking everywhere for a vinyl copy actually, but you know, I just can't for the life of me find one. And I don't know how many of you guys have this on vinyl. I know some of you must do. I know Derek has a copy of this, and I'd love to find a copy one day, but on Discogs they're going for, you know, kind of £30 plus, and I, you know, don't want to spend that much on it. But you know, maybe they're pretty rare. I'm just happy to have a copy of it now. And yeah, the album is Spiritualized. Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space. Obviously, probably their most famous album, released in 1997, and just an incredible album. I first heard this on YouTube actually. Some guy uploaded like the whole album onto YouTube, and I just listened to it from start to finish, and it blew me away. And ever since then, I've just been trying to find a copy, and found this for, as you can see, $2.99 in my local charity shop, and snapped it up. And yeah, what can I say about this? I mean, it's a very noisy album. I would say it's pretty I wouldn't say lo-fi, but it's certainly not overproduced, but at the same time as being very loud and somewhat messy in the production. I would say it's still a very intricate album, and the songwriting is very good on this. And just yeah, a masterpiece for sure. And you know, I haven't heard any of other Spiritualized albums, so I can't compare it to any of the others, but I know they just released a new album about a month ago now, and maybe pick up that at some point. But yeah, super psyched to have a physical copy of this album at last, and I'll keep my eyes peeled for a vinyl copy and hopefully find one at some point. But yeah, if you haven't heard this, then you're missing out. It's a absolute masterpiece. So that's the CD. getting into the vinyl now. Starting off here with a second-hand find, which I actually picked up at the same time as the CD, in the same store, and yeah, so happy to find this. It didn't really spring out at me at first. I had to look at it and kind of you know, research it a little bit before buying it, because I knew about this artist, but I didn't know too much, you know, in depth about him or, you know, his discography. So, but you know, I'm so glad I picked this up in the end. It was very cheap, so low risk, and I found a copy of Belafonte Returns to Carnegie Hall, and obviously this is by Harry Belafonte, famous folk singer, kind of pioneer of the folk revival in the 50s and 60s, and pretty sure he was quite popular. You know, he wasn't one of the folk singers who just kind of played around the coffee houses. He was pretty, you know, pretty famous and made quite a bit of money out of it, and obviously came before, like, you know, the folk singers of the early 60s, like Dylan, of course, and Joan Baez, and Ramblin' Jack Elliott, and Peter, Paul and Mary. Came before all of those, and I believe the first time he played at Carnegie Hall was in 57 or 58, and that was, you know, he released that as an album, that live show, and that was met with pretty much critical acclaim. So he was asked to come back and play it again, Carnegie Hall, and I believe this was recorded in 1960 and released in 1960, just before Carnegie Hall was due to be torn down. Obviously it didn't end up going ahead. I think Carnegie Hall is even still standing today. But yeah, they were just about to tear the place down, and this was going to be one of the last shows played at Carnegie Hall, and just an incredible show, I have to say. I mean, he collaborates on this show with some really famous top-class musicians. To name a few, you've got Odetta on here. She's on the inside cover there with Harry Belafonte. You've got Odetta. You've got Miriam Makeba, who I think is from South Africa. Chad Mitchell Trio, again, very famous folk quartet. And the Belafonte Folk Singers as well, which obviously kind of toured with Harry Belafonte in the 50s. So yeah, just a great release, and so glad I have a copy of this on vinyl. It sounds amazing. Very lucky to find a clean copy of this, and would recommend checking it out if you haven't heard Harry Belafonte before. So that was great to find. These next three are all new finds. I kind of splashed out a little bit recently, and you know, managed to pick up these three. And starting off here with a real gem, actually. Unbelievably, this is the first full-length album that I've bought by this guy, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to, you know, purchase one of his albums. But this is his newest release. I think this was released at the beginning of the month, maybe end of last month, and it's The Tallest Man on Earth's new record, There's No Leaving Now. And yeah, this is amazing. This is really, really good, and it's like a crime that it's taken me this long to discover him and get into his stuff, because, you know, he releases some, you know, he's released some great music over the years. He hasn't been around too long. Tallest Man on Earth, I've forgotten his name now, but he's from Sweden, and I think he has 2 or 3 full-length albums now, all of which are pretty similar to one another. I mean, after hearing this, I went back and listened to The Wild Hunt, which I know a lot of people go crazy for, and you know, listening to that one and then listening to this one, you know, there's not too much in terms of difference between the two. But I have to say, I think I like this one the most. There's No Leaving Now. I think this is his best release to date, for me. The melodies are just superb on this. I mean, it's not a popular album, it's not a commercial album by any stretch. You know, that's most certainly not what it's about, but I mean, the melodies, when you listen to this album, and the lyrics will really get stuck in your head, and you'll find yourself humming along to them and singing along, you know, the more that you hear the album. So that's what I love about it. It just seems to be a very catchy album, but then, you know, that doesn't take away from the class of it and the quality of it. So yeah, amazing release. Definitely check this out if you haven't. It's a pretty cheap pressing. I mean, you don't get a whole lot with it, so you know, they don't charge a whole lot. I think I only paid £11 for this, which is very good, and just came with a single LP and download card, and listened to it a ton of times already. So yeah, that's The Tallest Man on Earth. These next two I got yesterday, so I've listened to all of this one, and one LP from the next one, and this is again an album which I'm kind of ashamed that it's taken me this long to hear it from start to finish. I heard snippets of this, and I've heard people going absolutely mad for this release, and you know, it's taken me a long time to discover it, but picked up this, which is Neutral Milk Hotels, In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, released in 1998, I believe, and these guys were I don't know what genre I'd put them into, but they only released 2 albums back in the 90s. I think this was the second album that they released. The first one, you know, didn't gain too much hype, but then after this one came out, people just went absolutely crazy for this band, and you know, still up until this day, there's like this album has like a cult following. It's just, you know, one of those albums that's gained so much notoriety over the years, for just being an absolute classic, and I can see why. It's a very iconic album in pretty much all departments. You know, the cover is very striking, taken from a famous piece of artwork, I forget which, but yeah, pretty striking artwork on the front cover, pretty nice back cover as well, and the music is very, very good. I mean, the songwriting on this is the really standout part for me. I mean, the lyrics are I think unsurpassed from anything I've heard from the 90s for sure. You know, the imagery that's kind of conjured up on this album is, you know, mind-blowing. It really is, and you know, you get kind of transported to another world listening to this album, which is obviously awesome. And yeah, on top of the lyrics, the production on this is, you know, again, pretty lo-fi, pretty noisy. It's got an interesting kind of musicality to it. It's kind of folky in its lyrics and some of the instrumentation. The chord progressions aren't in any way complex, but then it's also got a very distorted kind of lo-fi production to it, which is very interesting, and I think part of what makes this album so appealing to so many people. So yeah, very happy to find this, again for a good price. This is a reissue of this, I think, on 180-gram vinyl. Came with a download card, so yeah, I couldn't resist it really. So that's one of the albums I picked up yesterday. Second of all, this is a pretty different flavour. This is unlike anything I've heard this year so far. But again, I saw it, you know, in the record store, and I couldn't really pass it up. I mean, it's I'd seen the Needle Drop review this, and he gave it a good review, a great review actually. And you know, I tend to trust Anthony over there at the Needle Drop. He you know, anything that he gives an 8 or above, I'll tend to check out, and just happened to see this one on vinyl, and couldn't resist picking it up. It's Lone, and this is Galaxy Garden. Again, a recent album. I think this came out, again, I think the end of last month maybe. And what struck me first off was the cover art. Kind of fits with the music perfectly for me. Very colourful this album is, and yeah, I just love the cover art, and that kind of caught my eye straight away. But this is amazing music, just, you know, very electronic, very well produced. You know, unlike Neutral Milk Hotel, this is, you know, very, very good production on this. Very glossy, you know, very high sheen production. As I said, very colourful music, and also very uplifting. I mean, I put this on earlier today. I just got out of bed and I was feeling quite low. It was raining and, you know, I couldn't really do anything outside, and I just wanted to listen to some music, and I put this on and it was very uplifting. You know, it really put me in a good mood. So yeah, absolutely very, very happy to find this, and definitely give it a try. It's not going to be for everybody, for sure. And you know, a few months ago, I wouldn't have even checked this out myself. So I'm glad that I, you know, kind of still, you know, branching out and listening to some new stuff, getting into more hip hop and electronic music that I, you know, wouldn't usually listen to. And it's been really great. It really has. And you know, I'm just doing all that I can to just absorb as much music as I, you know, possibly can, and downloading quite a lot, listening to a lot on my iPod, the albums that I can't find on vinyl, and just having a great time. And I hope that continues, because it's what it's all about. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all the things I've picked up recently. As I said, I've ordered the Uncle Acid record, so that will probably be in my next vinyl update, depending on when they send it. And I'm sure I'll be taking, you know, some more visits to the record store over the next few weeks. But yeah, that's all I've got to show for now. And yeah, hope you guys are doing well. I've enjoyed, you know, watching many videos since finishing my exams, and you know, you guys are showing some great stuff. So thanks for that. And I don't know what I'm going to do next. My next video will probably be a thread response of some kind. But in the meantime, keep it up, guys, and thanks for watching.